Hey guys, here is my war number 2, and I've got a pretty interesting team today. So I've got Nebula, Storm, and then Titania for synergies coming along. So this first fight up, it's a Node 7 Dragon Man. This is a really long fight. Due to Node 7 having the power efficiency, it's a lot slower than other conflicted Dragon Man fights. I wasn't expecting it to be this slow, so I hadn't popped on Sui because I was expecting this to be fairly easy, but probably would in the future, just since it was so slow. And I'm gonna skip through most of this and just show the after the L3s, because yeah, it's a long one. She's very easy here, but it's definitely not an enjoyable experience. Now that we've got our L3, we can start getting some shocks up, which is nice, but it's not fantastic damage or anything. Just slowly chipping away at Dragon Man and hoping a second L3 will end the fight. And this fight ends up being so long that I have to pop a second Power Start 1 for 2 fights, which is ridiculous, but yeah. Second L3 was popped, ending the fight at this point, and yeah, just gonna throw this L1 and it's done. So not a pleasant fight, but a very simple one at least. And now next up we get into some interesting ones. At this point I'm popping the second PS1. The reason I'm doing this, the game doesn't count when you click fight, it counts when you actually load into the fight, so if you get a little bit of loading lag, then you're not going to have that PS1, so I just made sure to be safe, pop that PS1, and yeah. So we're going into this fight with Storm, using the Titania Synergy. Now this is actually bugged as well. Storm specials with Titania Synergy are meant to not give any power, and it seems like it's acting as 100% combat power reduction, which is still good enough to make her a good counter to this fight, but it's clearly not working as the description would say it would be. I reported this, so hopefully that gets fixed. And yeah, we have power backs on, and Storm does her thing. Yeah, she's a bit ridiculous. And then we have the reason I brought Storm this war. This 23 Nick Fury. I was very worried about it. My main worry was if I could not get to my L2 in Second Life, and it happened here. Now I messed up the strategy in First Life pretty poorly. I think if I do a different way, then the Second Life will be much easier than this, and I do think Storm is a pretty solid counter. But yeah, I have an invuln on, he throws his L1 here, this is really unfortunate. I just need to hit his block once, and he gets an L2 instead of that. But yeah, that's quite unfortunate. But thankfully at this point we're going to push him above his L1 after this, so that's going to be fine. And yeah, Storm doing her thing with Power X. First Life is done very quickly. And this is the thing I forgot, is that the power back from finishing the First Life only counts for the amount of damage that was left in the First Life, which is a lot lower. And yeah, this root timing is really rude, because I was like right on the timing, and I almost had the timing right, but it's just slightly rough. And then he throws this L1 here because Nick is a dick. Yeah, I'm just throwing this L1 to prevent the root, and hoping for some intercepts or anything here. It's going really poorly at this point. This root can just get really nasty really quickly. Here, I'm very lucky he did not go for another blocked hit, because I would have died if he did, but at this point we can finish the fight off if we can just get 2 combos in, so that's what we're trying to do. Thankfully, he throws that heavy here and lets me go for an intercept. During the unblockable, he's very aggressive, so I was lucky that I got him to be unblockable. But yeah, after that, the rest of my war is easy, but that was a little bit scary. There's a lot I could do. I'm just going to talk about what I would do in the future. Instead of that, what you should be doing to prevent the power back thing is to just end the First Life with combos and have yourself at an L3 for Second Life, and then in Second Life you can just spam a bunch of specials with power backs, and you'll end it easily. I didn't think of this going into the fight. I should have, but Yeah, that made it a lot harder on myself. In the future, I'm going to do that if I end up taking this fight again. But yeah, now we have a Korg. The nodes don't matter here. It's on the new path too, but not a mystic or anything, so going to be an easy fight. And yeah, just the Korg, pretty much a perfect matchup for Storm. I don't end up getting any L2 crits here, but as you can see, the L2s, they're still hitting more than hard enough. And yeah, we're going to have to deal with the second rock shield, but that's all good. Don't need to worry too much. It's just a Korg. Just break that rock shield. Slightly slower than it needs to be, but I'm sure if you get a crit on your first L2, you can get a second L2 before the rock shield comes back up. But yeah, here we go. Another L2, and then another L2, and the fight's over. And yeah, Storm destroyed that. Little bit of danger on the Nick Fury, but you know, she did her job to make the first life easy, to put me in a good position, hopefully, but it didn't end up as I wanted to. And now we have Nebula versus EMP Mod Domino. EMP Mod's going to make this very easy for Nebula. She's going to destroy. Now this is an interesting interaction. I found this out a while ago when fighting against a bunch of other types of AR. Sometimes it fails her charging thing, and then it just automatically charges some more for you, which is really weird. It's not dangerous or anything, it's just a little bit of an odd interaction. Doesn't really matter here. But yeah, EMP Mod, I get to 20 charges there. She fails 4 of my original shocks, and then fails 14. Not 14, fails a bunch of my L2 shocks as well. But yeah, I end up with 14 less shocks after the L2 than I normally would, but as you can see, the fight's still very quick. Because, yeah, it's Nebula. She's a beast. I didn't have Sui's on or anything. If I did, the L2 would have killed, pretty much guaranteed. But yeah, fairly easy war other than that scary Nick Fury fight for me today. Storm's a beast. I really want a 6-star Titania to go along with her. And yeah, that's all for this war video. Take care, guys.